everybody. Welcome back to Star Wars Minute. It's the daily podcast where we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate the Star Wars movies 1 minute at a time. I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
I'm Alex Robinson from AlexRobinson.fun.
And I am Tony Consiglio from StarWars.com/TokoTees. That's T-E-E-S, 2 E's. I believe.
2 E's. Yeah.
2 E's.
Well, StarWarsMinute.com.
2 E's.
I can't buy StarWars.com/TokoTees. I tried to work it out.
Oh, did I not say minute? Forgive me.
Minute.
I was in such a hurry to get to TokoTees that I forgot the minute.
Stampede.
StarWarsMinute.com. StarWarsMinute.com/TokoTees.
TokoTees. All right.
All right. Everybody go there. Well, you can pause, go there, buy some stuff, then come back and talk to us
the
about
next.
minute 68
We'll wait.
Star Wars Episode 8. It's The Last Jedi. 68 starts with Tamiri Blag ushering the Fanthiers out. I wrote Fanthiers. See what you did to me, Alex? Tamiri Blag ushering the Fanthiers out. And it ends with Fanthiers trashing the town. They're going to town.
I have so many questions.
All right. Yes.
I don't know if you guys have the answers.
All right.
I have a question.
Yes.
So they start smashing Drew stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're animals, and even in the alien world, they're animals.
Killed them
Are
like
aliens known to just smash through buildings when they're trying to escape, like just smashing through windows? Like, do they know if they can actually smash through things?
Well, like, what if you unleashed a bunch of racehorses? Wouldn't they go crazy?
Well, a follow-up question is how much of this
walls?
How much of this is Rose steering them? Because sometimes it seems like Rose is guiding them. Because he's like, we need some kind of cover, and then they run to the side and go. So that makes it seem like Rose is steering them. But I agree, it seems weird that they would jump through windows and jump through wall. Like, why?
Yeah.
I can't imagine a horse, even if it was running wild, it wouldn't say, well, I'm going to jump into that solid, what as far as I know, could be a solid object.
Right.
Exactly. I mean, I've been chased and I've run, but I've never said, oh, well, let me go through the TJ Maxx window to get through. Maybe I can get through the other side, like.
Just the once. You did it once and then you never do it again.
You learned your lesson. Well, so this is where it starts to get the sort of unreality that I was talking about. Like, these animals are breaking through walls with them riding on top, and they suffer no ill effects whatsoever from being smashed through walls. And it just makes it seem like, I remember at the time people saying it felt really Indiana Jonesy, but to me it feels more like the Hobbit movie, where it just feels like it's not this doesn't feel like a real thing.
It's like Indiana Jones, the Crystal Skull. That's the thing. It's like late model Indiana Jones, where they're swinging with monkeys and sliding under library tables on a motorcycle.
It doesn't seem
how great. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I want to hear something great. How great?
How great?
No, I was gonna say how great would have been at one point when the tea starts to shake. Instead of one of those goat hounds running through, it would have been the Kool-Aid guy. That would have been awesome. All of a sudden, the Kool-Aid guy would have shown up.
Well, Kool-Aid Man raises his own levels of questions. Like, is that stuff in the liquid? Is that part of him, or is he just carrying it?
That's his blood.
Yeah, it's a synthesis.
One part I do like when they jump through the window is that there's a whole bunch of people. First of all, I love it. I love scenes of animals running amok and trampling and killing humans. That is not my objection to it. Like, best part of any of the Planet of the Apes movies is when the apes go crazy and start killing all the humans who have been mistreating them the whole time. So on that level, I'm totally on board. But so I like when it jumps through the windows, and I like the fact that the only person still standing is the robot waiter droid, who's like, holding a tray of drinks. That was pretty funny, I have to say. Like, you think the droid would be the first one to be knocked over, but instead it's the one.
He's got servos and stuff. He's.
It felt very Jumanji, the first Jumanji, where the animals were just running through things and smashing on cars and running, like wreaking havoc.
Yes.
But where did they know? Did they know where they were going? They seemed very much like they had a path. Like they've done this before. Oh yeah, I've smashed these windows once before. Come on, this is a shortcut.
Yeah, it's
There's the one father has been planning this for years. He's like, okay, we go through the window here into the cafe. We go out. He's got it all like mapped out. He drew it with his hoof on the wall.
Oh, now I'm picturing like Reservoir Dogs. Where there's
Right.
like, your name is Fanthier Black, and you're a Fanthier Pink.
I would have loved when they were done. One of the Fanthiers would have spit out a handful of coins. It's like, now we can finally live on our own.
If he spit them out like rapidly, knocked out the police. Yeah. Well, that did make me think of an alternate, like the way that you said that, you love the best part of any movie is when the animals go crazy. It made me think like, well, what if the whole rest of this movie was just like, animals wreaking havoc? You know what I mean? It's just like the fathers go crazy and they're running all over the place, and then cut back to Luke and Ray training, and Luke and like Ray is like balancing on one hand or something like that. All of a sudden the fathers run through like.
Oh, I thought you were like the porgs. Like all the animals on every planet are attacking all the humans.
Oh, no. This group of fathers just running through like a father stampede across the galaxy. It
just turning into like the ending of Blazing Saddles where they go through
where it's like
the new MCU movie. They show Captain America fighting Iron Man.
They're all make use of all the Disney properties they had.
Down Dagobah, and Yoda falls over, and then they come running through.
Production of Hamilton, and they run through.
Yoda gets knocked over, and Frank Oz sticks his head up out of the ground, and he's like, "Whoa!" And then Tony Stark takes his bottle of wine, and he's like, "Oh!" Throws it back over his shoulder because he can't believe what he's seeing. They're kicking cars, like I guess they're speeders or something. That just seems like these animals are going to get much more injured running around kicking cars than they ever would have been racing around on a racetrack. That's what it seems like to me.
There you go. They'll get winded after a bit.
Yeah, Mace winded.
Well, okay, so were they being steered? Because at one point they go through they stop and they go through a tunnel. They kind of like make like they knew where they were going. They made like a turn and went through a doorway. How did they know to go through a doorway? Was there a dead end? We don't know.
Rose is steering them Ratatouille style, where she pulls on the hair on one side and it makes them turn, and then it turns them that way.
Those big ears.
Yeah, exactly. So she did say she always dreamed of riding one, so maybe she researched how they operate them. So,
yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, she's always wanted to ride them, so I guess she knows. I guess that's why, because I was going to ask, why don't they each take a separate one? It seems like it would make more sense that way.
Although, is it this minute where the lights were smacking them in the face? Like, wouldn't the brick walls would have been like really painful? Whereas,
I think that's mainly tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that it goes, ties in with the unreality that Alex is talking about. Well, even there's a certain like digital effect unreality too that we still haven't. We're kind of close, but we're in the uncanny valley with like people riding things. We haven't figured out how to make it look natural still. You know what I mean? There's like a
You mean like the far away shots, or when they're close up?
Well, it's like the kind of close. There's one or two shots of them. Well, first we get the fathers. Here's a little bit too fake reality, where we get the shot like the low, camera on the ground, and the fathers run towards it, and one of them kicks the camera, and the camera kind of tips over to the side. And I'm like,
I didn't notice
there is
that.
no camera. It's not real.
Oh, okay. We need a stampede of them through the Lion King too, right after the father dies, and then at the last minute, got a bunch of them running through.
Lion King, the movie or the Broadway musical?
Both.
Both. Actually, one after the other.
The original animated one, the live action remake, and then the musical release order. So the live show will be in between. Yeah.
Star Wars Disney owns all of it anyway, so they could do that.
Yeah.
Was there another scene where maybe it was in Rogue One? Did we see like water get flicked on a camera or something? I thought there was another scene where there was some.
There's a lot of fake camera. It's very popular these days.
Yeah.
I can't remember what Was it from the battle? Was like dirt and stuff gets...
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe like a bomb goes off and... Anyway.
But when they're riding on... When you see the shot of the... It's the two of them. It's Rose and Finn riding on the back of the Fathier, and you can see kind of most of their bodies and they're riding on it, but they're like it doesn't look like they're actually riding anything.
Yeah.
And it looks a little bit off. And I'm not saying it's, like... I don't think they could have necessarily done a better job with what they have. I don't know. I think there's just a better way to frame it or something where it just looks fake. It's not as bad as Anakin riding on the shack in Attack of the Clones, but it's not great.
Yeah.
Another question is if a Fathier, how do you say Fathier? Fathier?
Fathier.
What are they called? Fathier? So if a Fathier smashed my speeder, does my insurance cover it, or does the casino's insurance? Do I have to contact the casino over it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think the racetrack, the insurance, the casino / racetrack.
You think they're liable?
I think they're liable because their animals got out.
I mean,
although they don't own them all, I'm assuming.
I would think Finn and Rose would be held responsible because they were the ones who basically incited the riot.
But they're nobody, unless maybe they ID'd them when they booked them, and now they get after the events of the Rise of Skywalker. You see them, they go home and they have a big bill for 20 million credits from.
Oh, they should have used the ending. They should have used the same ending as Monty Python, the Holy Grail, where they're setting up this big final battle at the end, and then the cops suddenly show up and stop, and then they arrest Rose and Finn, take them away, and that's the end of the movie.
Exactly.
Even better, at one point, Rose gets a letter in the mail and it's a picture of her on the back of the Fanthier, and it tells you how much the ticket is. You're like, damn, I didn't know they had cameras on that corner.
So then the Resistance and the First Order would both be called into the lawsuit because they would be, they were anyway, it's a mess.
Yeah.
It's a mess. That's a mess.
We do get to see a little a showcase for an alien in this minute, and I of course am talking about Ubbla Mollboro.
Ubbla Mollboro. Yes.
Ubbla Mollboro, the opera singer, the Zaftig opera singer, who we see singing as the Fanthiers run around in the casino.
Again, it's over the top. It's too much. It should have if that was a character that was walking around in the background, I would be like, okay, but close up on and then to show Finn doing a double take almost be like, what? Like, what was that? Like, I'm like,
and then he takes the wine bottle,
that is a weird thing.
Shoulder.
Do not like.
What's her name again?
Ubbla.
Ubbla. Ubbla.
Ubbla.
Space Mollbro. Mollbro.
Can I tell you something? Don't tell anybody this. I'm going to tell you guys, no one else. She kind of turns me on. If I was at a casino and I met up with her, I'd go back to her room. There's a lot to fondle there. There's a lot of stuff going on.
There's apparently she's there. She's looking for a what is it, a hatching partner or something like that? So you might be in luck.
Oh, hatching partner.
Yeah.
I wonder what the
I didn't bring. I wouldn't have brought eggs with me, so I don't know if I could have helped.
I wonder what the if there's. Do we see any in Star Wars? Do we see any alien human? I guess we hardly see any pairings, but do we see any humans and aliens in romantic relationships in Star Wars? We see a robot and a human, and with Lando and L3. But I don't remember seeing any aliens.
No, I don't know.
I mean, other than the obvious one of Han Solo and Chewbacca, come on. Something must have happened at some point.
They did take a shower together in that one. Maybe it was implied.
Yeah.
But I also want to call attention. If you look, Ubbla Mollboro has some kind of pet with her.
I swear.
Oh, I did not.
I just
see that.
Read something about her pet. And I was like, I got to remember it, got to pin that, got to remember to save it for when we do that minute. And then I could not find any information about her pet.
Nor could I, other than the fact that it was apparently like a floating
right.
type thing that floats around her. It's almost like a pet balloon creature.
And I swear, like doing research on something else.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is that species? And maybe it was on a Wikipedia page that doesn't link back to her or something like that. But I ended up reading about her pet the other day, and then was like, oh, mentally gotta remember to come back to that page. Obviously, it'll be there, and then can't find it again.
You got Bernstein Baird out of it. You got Mandelaverse out of it.
Yeah.
It's funny because while I was researching it,
was Mollboro.
Yes?
No, was Mollboro and any other scenes besides these minutes?
I think you saw her like in the background, but she didn't do anything really.
Oh, okay. I don't remember.
But weirdly, I first found information about the pet on the Italian Wikipedia.
Oh yeah,
which is called the Jawapedia.
Oh,
I had to end with a vowel, so they use Jawa.
Wookiee also has a vowel, but it makes me wonder if is that an Italian pun where the Italian version of Wikipedia is like Javapedia, or something that sounds like, because we call it Wikipedia because it sounds like Wikipedia. So I don't know if the Italian one
maybe
is a pun on whatever their version. You guys are both Italian. What's the Italian version of Wikipedia?
I don't know. Jawapedia.
Is it Jawapedia? It's written.
No.
It sounds like a thing for baby Jawas. It's like a formula replacement.
right. If they have a fever.
Pedia Jawa.
Would you call me? Yeah, I'm trying to read the page here, and it doesn't really have. Although
is this a minute two?
It's got a picture of that other guy that you like, the guy with the high forehead and the long white hair. There's a picture of him on that page, that same Italian page, but it doesn't have any notes about him either.
Yeah. I guess we've gotten spoiled where, as we said before, every member of the Cantina has had extensive backstories written about them, and we know everything, sometimes several different versions of what their story is, but now it's just kind of like unidentified alien number 7 and so on. So
yeah,
we're like,
give it time.
Yeah, I know.
They'll come up with a story.
And of course, the one thing will do is then complain once I learn about these aliens. I'll be like, "Oh, that's stupid. They shouldn't have done that." So, you can't win, Lucasfilm. Sorry.
I'm trying to do some quick translation.
Is this also the minute where all the money was falling on one of the gamblers?
Possibly
minute, right?
that little alien who was pumping coins into BB-8 earlier.
Yeah, into BB-8. Yeah, I think that's the same minute.
Yeah, because
he seemed to be enjoying himself.
Sure.
And that's Dabo Skay, right? That's Mark Hamill.
Yes, Mark Hamill playing that character.
How do you get into that costume?
Don't ask.
That's just what he looks like now.
Are you have some more information on Italian Wikipedia there, Pete?
I'm doing some quick background translating here.
Okay.
If the balloon was part of his anatomy, the little dog could have died when Ubbla Mollboro let him go. In fact, the balloon is deflated, and so has he himself. So
yeah,
I don't know what that means, and it's in Italian. Nel caso Palancino. But I'm not sure what to do. It's frustrating because I know I came across something.
You'll find it tomorrow, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. Or like a week from now. I'll be like, why was I looking up that floating dog?
There's one shot where it shows an organ being trampled upon by the goat hounds.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if that had any significance. Why, out of all the things, did he choose to show that organ being smashed by these creatures? It almost made me think like it was like almost like we were going to see a baby carriage going down the steps. Like he was referencing some classic thing from film of an organ being trampled upon by an animal or something.
Right.
I imagine the only reason is for the sound of it, like to go boom, like the sound it made when it hit the ground. But other than that, that is an odd thing.
Yeah. Maybe
there was a blue guy in the middle of it playing.
That's it comes through. So they smash the organ, and then
They
Max Rebo
squished him.
pops his head up and like looks around.
And Max Rebo comes over with it.
That could be so this whole thing was extended. There was a longer version of it, which I know you say that, but it weirdly, I think it works better with more stuff, because here it's just manic, just, like here, this happens and this happens. It's all just like dumb stuff on top of it. But the longer version of it has a little more context to it, I feel like, or something. I don't know. But it, I don't know. I watched it. I was watching some of the extras on Disney Plus, and then one of the extras for this is the extended version of this, which kind of intercuts the actual scenes with some of the stuff that they were working on that they ended up not putting in there. A lot of the cut stuff from this movie, I think, is better. I think it would have worked better with it. That's an interesting. There's a handful of interesting choices that I'm like, really? That seems like it would have been good. Like I would have liked that.
I don't know why they don't do more extended versions of movies. You know what I mean? Like released it for the
like that 4-hour Justice League.
Yeah, do a for the theatrical release.
Love that.
You do a 2-hour version of something, and then you add an extra hour for the the
for
home
Disney
video.
Plus to make people sign up.
Yeah.
So especially when you see their like scenes that are I don't know if the Fanthier chase was totally complete or not, because I know like the Revenge of the Sith, the extended chase between General Grievous and Obi-Wan was just like rough animatics. It wasn't like completed. So,
well, that's the thing with this. It cuts back and forth between the completed footage and then
they
really
cut it before
rough,
they
previs stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Previs. Jurassic Teacup. Obviously, that you see the cup rattling.
Oh, right.
Like a Jurassic Park.
I thought you were jumping the gun. You were giving me the Fanthier report.
Oh no, is that the name of the next? I'm going to guess the next one has something to do with Tatooine. You want to give us a Fanthier report?
Well, the Fanthier report. I went away from the planet named ones. This one is a more it's a more subtle, more just more of a thinker.
Baker.
The Fanthier called Casual Retort.
Oh. Yeah, weirdly, I like that one better because it sounds like a real racehorse name.
Right.
Which are generally nonsensical, so.
Yeah. Casual Retort. Yeah, sounds like a horse that I would actually bet on.
I'm surprised it's not like Bad Feeling or something like that. Yeah. Have you guys ever ridden a horse? Horses? I'm assuming if you did, you didn't ride the same horse. So have you guys ever ridden horses?
I rode 2 at a time. That's why. I have ridden horses. I when I was a kid, there were horses at summer camp. I went to a day camp, not a sleepaway camp, and there were horses there, but that's a very kind of, contained.
Did you actually gallop, or is it just kind of you walk around a trail?
It's like there's like an adult holding it, and they run it around, and the horse is about to die. It's like on its last legs, and they're just kind of like, okay, go around in a circle. But then a couple of years ago, we went out to visit some more rural relatives of my wife, and we ended up taking some horses and going on some kind of horseback kind of expedition somewhere, which was wasn't just kind of wild, just like, here you go, take your horse, get out of here. But it was a little bit more like that, and I was terrified the entire time. Even though I was told, don't let him see that you're afraid. I was like, this horse knew I was afraid when I walked through the gate.
No.
He's just staring at you the whole time.
But no, they gave me like the oldest, saddest horse, because I was like, they're like, he doesn't care, you don't care. Let's do this. And I was like, perfect. But then every once in a while, still, I was just like, he could just like, one last throw of one last vestige of youth could come back to him, and he'd be like, you know what, screw this guy. And
he's going out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah.
What about you, Tony? Have you ever ridden a horse?
I have been on a horse also. I have actually. It was a school trip to a place called Ann Page, I think it's called. It was upstate somewhere, I think. But anyway, it was one of these retreats for city kids, and they had goats and horses, and goat hounds, and they had these horses, and everyone got on a horse, and we went on a trail, and we all rode our own horses, and they gave me a horse that mounted another horse, and I fell off the horse.
Wow.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, it was really scary.
You were on the horse that
got up
to mount another horse.
I was on the horse that then went to the another horse, because I don't know how to steer. I didn't know how to do anything on this horse. And they put me on a horse, and they said, hold on to this thing. And I was like, okay, onto the what do you call it? The thing.
Reins.
Tells you how good I am at the steering wheel, whatever. Yeah, the reins. Yes. So I had the rein in my hand, and next thing you know, I just galloped away from everyone else and just mounted up onto another horse. And I kind of was like, I'm getting, I don't want any part of this. And I just kind of jumped off the horse and fell onto the ground.
Wow.
And then after that, they gave me another horse. Yeah, it was pretty scary. And they gave me another horse called Fatso, and it was like Pete's horse. It was the biggest, and it was the oldest horse that did not want to move.
The least horny horse.
I was fine. I was all the way in the back. Yeah, it was the least horny horse. But it was great because at one point we had to go through a ravine, and everyone, literally the water came up to the horses' necks, and everybody was soaked up to their chests in water going through the ravine and out the other side. And my horse is so huge, my sneakers didn't even get wet. That's how big my horse was.
Wow.
I didn't even touch the water. That was amazing. I don't even know if it was a horse. It might have been a camel for all I know. I didn't know what. What?
It probably drank all the water. That's why. Right. I can't believe they put you on another horse after you were after the first incident happened. I guess you gotta get right back on.
I don't even remember being asked.
Yeah.
The guys that worked there, they were there was no nonsense with these guys. They would get so pissed, and when my horse would slow down and fall behind, one of the guys would come around and be like, "What are you doing? Pull on those reins, kick him in the stomach, kick him as hard as you can." I'm like, "I'm not kicking this thing." No. And so one of the guys came behind me and gave one of those yeehaw and slapped it in the ass. And it just started galloping away, and then they had to bring them back around, and it was a nightmare. I hated the whole thing. It was awful, but it was a story. Now I could tell people I rode a horse.
Yeah. They're like, "Kid, someday you'll tell us on a podcast. It'll all be worth it."
I thought you were going to say they gave you a new horse, and that horse then mounted the second horse. So you ended up in this, any horse that you got on ended up getting involved in the action.
Like a horse centipede.
Right, yeah.
It was my scent. I think it was just turning them all on. Yeah. I can't help it.
Drove them wild.
Drove them wild.
Well, all right. On that, I'm not ending this episode. Pete, you're in charge of this one.
Which one is this? 68.
68.
Okay. That is on that note of.
So one more thing. I don't understand why Finn is mad that she's enjoying riding the Fanthier.
Right.
I guess because he's scared.
I guess so.
Because Rose is having fun in the
business.
beginning.
It was all business. They were trying to escape. It wasn't fun. It was work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's living her dream, I guess, now.
Yeah.
And does this minute end with them getting on?
Yeah.
What's that?
Does this minute end with them jumping onto the beach?
Not yet.
That's this minute, right?
Not yet. That's next minute.
Oh, not yet. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we still got.
Man,
you want to come back
there's
tomorrow?
A lot
and talk
of
about
melee
that?
in all these minutes. I don't know where I'm going to be. Hopefully, I'll be here.
We still have Fanthier to go.
Listeners, viewers, everybody, if you want to tell us your horse riding stories, I don't think we asked Alex about riding a horse. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Okay. Did you ride a horse?
Did you ride one here? If you want to tell your horse story, if it's short and it's funny, we might put it on the show. Call 8-Day Greedo, and we'll include it if we like it in before the other one. I forgot. Tony just reminded me we already did 8-Day Greedo plug this week, but
we really want people to call in.
Or then why not tweet us at Star Wars Minute, or post a picture, give us a comment, whatever. Follow us on Instagram at Star Wars Minute.
Yeah.
And
Definitely post your pictures of you on a horse. That would be awesome.
yes, let's
Tag
everybody
us in it,
post
yeah.
or you can go to Facebook. Where we got the Star Wars Minute Listener Society on Facebook. Have a whole horse thread over there at starwarsminute.com/Facebook. And then we will meet you back here tomorrow for a brand new Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.